Okay, y'all, this is Love and Hip Hop Miami. This is season one, and this is part one to the reunion. As you guys know, of course, Nina Parker is the host. And we start talking about Bobby and Trina's storyline. And so, Trina explains that she didn't know Bobby all her life. He's from her dad's side of the family, and she doesn't really deal with that side like that. So for her to allow him into her space like that, there is a lot of love there because she don't deal with them like that. So Nina is asking Bobby, well, do you still feel that Trina doesn't support you or whatever? And Bobby is like, no, I don't feel that way now. I understand where she be coming from now and how she be having this going on, and this is her brand and all this other stuff. And him feeling like that maybe he kind of was doing a bit much or whatever, in which we know Bobby can be a lot to deal with. But I still do feel like Trina was kind of acting stank towards him throughout the season, but it's good to see them in a better place, so I'm happy about that for them. And so Trick, of course, he bigs up Bobby once again and thinks that Bobby has nice music, and that they will put him, they will try to put him in the box because of the fact that he's gay, because you got some homophobic motherfuckers out here. And Bobby is like, that's okay, because I'm ready to kick that box open. I said, I know that's right, Bobby. But anyway, so Trina is saying that they might do a song together or whatever. It's just that Bobby is just like a whole lot sometimes, so he just be Aggie, and she be like, yo, like, calm the fuck down, chill out or whatever. So then Bobby is like, oh, like that motherfucker over there talking about Alvin, Trina's assistant. And oh boy, why did he say that shit? Because they start going back and forth. You're broke. No, you're broke. No, you wish you was on the winning team. No, you wish you was on the winning team. Be a boss like me. No, be a boss like me. Just going back and forth, back and forth. Bobby stood up a couple of times, but Alvin, he actually got up and tried to charge at Bobby and everything. Of course, security catches them. Trina, in the midst of it, she like, hold on, my dress, because they done shook the table up a little bit, the table that they had sitting on the stage. They done shook the goddamn table up, and Trina was like, hold on, these motherfuckers, ruin my dress is going to be a problem. And I'm like, girl, your assistant and your cousin is getting into it, and all you worried about is your dress. But I ain't gonna lie, I probably would have been the same way, because it's like, if I done paid some good money for a dress, and y'all sitting up here with all this hoopla or whatever, damn near, about to fuck my shit up, I probably would have been the same way too. I probably would have been like, forget the both of y'all, you know what I'm saying? So, but Bobby does say that he really don't have a problem with Alvin at this point or whatever. And then Alvin is like, oh, well, I guess maybe I don't have a problem with him either. And I was just like, well, that died down quickly. So then we get to Shay, Pleasure, and Pretty Ricky's storyline. And Nina is asking them, well, how did the group originally, break up or whatever? And they kind of trying to sugarcoat the shit and everything, but Baby Gap, he like, no, the group broke up because P wanted to do his solo records and this, that, and the third. So Nina had asked them about like their album or whatever, and P says that they just finished up their new album and everything. Nina is asking Shay, why wasn't you, with this whole reunion at first or whatever? And, this whole reunion of Pretty Ricky. And, Shay admits that she didn't know the whole story at first, with the guys, and that she did jump the gun. And so, she apologizes for, how she came at Baby Gap and everything. And, Spec is like, oh, so he the only one to get an apology here? And, Shay is like, no, I apologize to you too, because like I said, I jumped the gun or whatever. And, I wish you guys much success, and I hope you guys, stay together and everything. And I was like, okay, Shay, for a minute, I was like, okay, because I thought she was going to get smart with Spectacular when he was like, oh, so he the only one, you know what I'm saying? But she handled that situation like an adult, okay? But anyway, so when it came to the whole their performance or whatever, when Shay was turning up for no goddamn reason, Shay still feels like P didn't have her back or whatever, and P feels like it was better for him to stay out of it than yeah, it was better for him to stay out of it and then, pull both parties to the side separately later on after they, finish, doing what they do, going back and forth or whatever. So Liz is sitting in the audience. She kind of jumps into the mix, because Baby Gap is trying to tell Shay, I mean, well, he couldn't defend you at the time or whatever, this, that, and the third. And like I said, that's when Liz kind of jumps in as Baby Gap is talking or whatever. And, saying, well, I mean, he did defend her and everything. And Baby Gap is like, listen, I don't want to hear your opinion. And, he start going off on her. And Liz is like, I'm just on the outside, looking in, trying to give an outside perspective. And then Baby Gap, he just goes off the handle. Like, he got some serious anger issues that he need to get in control of. Because I know he done lost, like, maybe a couple of cool points with some people with all this shit that he was doing. But anyways, so Baby Gap is telling her, man, shut up and and all this other stuff. So Prince, he steps up, acting like he about to do something and everything. And was like, yo, don't be talking to her like that. Don't be talking to her like that. Then this fool Slick on the side here get up and was like, acting like he was about to do something, and security grabbed him. But I don't think he was about to do nothing for real. I think he just wanted to be silly and everything, because he even started laughing when he sat back down. And I said, something is wrong with that man. Okay, like something is really wrong with him, So Nina, after things kind of get a little bit settled, this being their first reunion, Nina explains pretty much how this shit works. We all are here at this reunion. Everybody, we going over everybody's storylines, and if somebody sees something that they want to speak on, we give you guys that opportunity to speak. We give everybody an opportunity to speak and say what they have to say or whatever. And men and women, we should all respect each other, and definitely all the women on this cast should be respected. And then that's when Baby Gap had the audacity to go off on Nina. You know what I'm saying? And Nina's like, okay, well, you don't need to come for me. You don't need to be yelling at me or whatever. And he's like, no, because you're not going to check me about how I talk to no female and all this other stuff. And Nina was still like, okay, you're not going to be talking to me like that or whatever. Like, we giving everybody opportunity to say what they got to say and everything. I know Nina wanted to come across that damn chair. I know she wanted to come across that chair. Like, Nina had to keep it professional, though. But I know she wanted to get ghetto, okay? Because I feel like I would have. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have been like, motherfucker, who the fuck is you talking to? You ain't talking to me. Like, I would have went in on Baby Gap. Like, I would have went in on Baby Gap. But like I said, Nina, she did pretty good, not getting, like, too crazy or whatever. So, Baby Gap, he does apologize, though, to her and everything. And, Nina gives him the opportunity to say what he wanted to, say before, shit got crazy. And Baby Gap is like, listen, all I was trying to say was P was not in a position to defend neither one of us at the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you was his girl, I'm his bro. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't in a position to defend neither one of us at the time. You know what I'm saying? That's why he did what he did, pulling us to the side separately and telling us both that we was wrong, And so, Shay just still feel how she feel or whatever. And P says, my lady wouldn't even be carrying herself like that out in public, no way. That's why we ain't together and all this other stuff. And they just start kind of, going back and forth and whatever. So then we get on Shay, P, and Gabby. Featuring the Chinese buffet, aka Chinese Nikki and Chinese Kitty. Ooh, excuse me. And Gabby, she couldn't be there. And I heard something happened with Gabby and they ended up sending her back to Jamaica. I'm not too sure about that situation, but yeah, I did kind of hear something about that. So they called her in via satellite or whatever you call that shit, to talk to Gabby. So Nina is asking Gabby, why did you and why did you and Pleasure break up the first time or whatever? And she says that it was on her, she needed time to herself and everything and blase blase. And she says that, because I guess she's still interested. She says, I told him to fly to Jamaica or whatever, I'm still waiting. And, Nina is like, are you going to fly to Jamaica? And Pleasure was like, no. Like, no, I mean, we'll see what happens, but I mean, whatever. But, Baby Gap feels like how we all kind of felt, like, she was an opportunist. You know what I'm saying? Like, you hear Pretty Ricky getting back together and you just, pop up all of a sudden and everything. And, Gabby, she's like, no, I'm not an opportunist and da-da-da, this, that, and the third. And, she was saying how she didn't even know that P had a girlfriend. She just came to the event, to the ice cream event to support him, this, that, and the third. And then Shay is like, well, you popped up to the event. No, yeah. Shay was like, you wasn't invited, right? And then that's when Gabby was like, no, I, popped up or whatever. And then Shay was like, well, you popped up to the event and that's why you got that ice cream popped in your face. And, Nikki, she yelling in the audience and she's like, but she didn't know that you was there. She didn't even know you was there. She didn't know nothing about you and this, that, and the third. And, I guess Nina had asked her why did Shay, throw the ice cream at Gabby like that, this, that, and the third, and Shay was like that she already was on edge because of the other females that, P, I guess, was dealing with or something like that. And then Kitty was like, well, if he was dealing with the other females, why did you attack Gabby? And although the shit was funny, Shay should have, I mean, I understand, you don't know what's going on. You just see some bitch feeding your man ice cream. But she should have, threw that shit at Pleasure. But, I mean, hey, it is what it is. So, next thing the Chinese buffet, they trying to, go at Shay or whatever, and Shay trying to go at them, and all these insults being exchanged back and forth. And I'm just like, Chinese buffet and Francine, sit y'all asses the fuck down. Okay. Like, I'm just so over the situation with them. Like, I'm over that whole thing, But yeah, so that was that with them. Then we have Bobby, Jeffery, and Malik's storyline. And Nina had asked Bobby, Bobby, why did you, pretty much hit first and ask questions later when you was at the pool party or whatever? And, Bobby was like that he was just so mad and everything. And had he known that they was already fucking around prior to, he probably would have, been crying and all this other stuff, whatever. And, they talk about, do Jeffery feel as though it's a double standard when it comes to the whole domestic violence thing because because you and Bobby are both guys or whatever. Jeffery does feel that way and everything. And like I said before, I'm not promoting domestic violence, when it comes to anybody, man, woman, two men, two girls or whatever, but it is in a way kind of like, how can I say this? It is kind of like, well, y'all both are dudes, you know what I'm saying? But it still doesn't make it right, regardless of the fact, because it still is, domestic violence. But still, let's not act like Bobby didn't have a reason, especially when you sit up here sneaking and creeping around and, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm not trying to promote domestic violence or nothing like that, but we're not going to sit up here and act like as if Bobby didn't have a reason to be upset. You know what I mean? But anyway, so, they talk about the fact of, Bobby being in the studio and everything. He's trying to, get his grind on. And Jeffery is like, yeah, but if I can't get in contact with you in over a week, like, it's a problem. I'm like, damn, over a week? But still, Jeffrey, if you felt that way, you could have just broken up with Bobby. You didn't have to sit up here and do that to him like that. You know what I'm saying? And Jeffrey, he does understand being in the studio or whatever. His dad was in the music industry, but he was also married too, so he made it work or whatever. So I understood Jeffrey's point on that. But like I said, if you felt that way with Bobby, you should have just left him versus, cheating on him. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, then we get to Malik, and, we see that Malik and Jeffery they're sitting on opposite sides of the stage. So Nina wants to know what's going on with that or whatever. And, Malik says that him and Jeffery have had relationship issues and that they're not compatible as a couple, and, they're not together at this point. And, Jeffery, he's shocked because this is his first time hearing this information. Like, he knew that they was going down that road, but he didn't expect Malik to do, to sit up here and pretty much break up with him on TV like that or whatever, And so Malik also has says that, they can't be friends or nothing like that, I guess, at this point, And Nina was like, to Jeffery, why didn't you tell Malik about going to, support Bobby and everything? Jeffery feels as though Malik wouldn't have understood because I guess Jeffery felt like he owed Bobby, like, some type of closure or whatever, to their situation to close that chapter or whatever. So, y'all know how I feel about that closure stuff. Like, your actions is the closure to me. But anyway, so they address Malik saying the F word, and he says, when he said it, he didn't say Bobby's name, after he had said it, like, people was thinking that he was talking about Bobby or whatever, and that wasn't the case or whatever. And me, I was saying, I'm thinking to myself as I'm watching him say this, like, well, who the fuck was you talking about then? You know what I'm saying? And then he says that, when he thinks of that word, he thinks of somebody who's messy, loud, and all over the place, and this, that, and the third. And, he feels as though, just like how black people could say nigga, he feels as though as a gay man, he should have been able to say the F word. But see, you were still trying to come out the closet at the time when you were saying it, and you were saying it with so much disdain in your voice, like, is something wrong, with being like a feminine gay dude. You know what I'm saying? And so but Bobby did kind of take up for Malik a little bit. He was like, I didn't feel like he was aiming the F word at me or whatever, but, him sitting up here, saying something about me being a feminine gay dude and acting like it's a problem and, trying to act like, me being feminine makes him, less gay than me or whatever. I had a problem with that because at the end of the day, we both gay. You know what I'm saying? And Bobby feels as though, we have people in our community that looks up to us or whatever. So it's our duty to, be examples and stuff like that. And so I forgot what Nina had asked Malik or whatever. I guess it was something about in regards to Malik coming out and everything and whatever, or why was he so scared to come out, whatever, she asked him. He was saying because, promoters will sit up here and act funny towards you, and how, if you're at an event, with a group of girls and stuff like that, they'll put you all the way at the end of the table just so, paparazzi or whoever won't sit up here and try to think that they DL and, all this other stuff or whatever. And, they also talk about, people thinking, Prince is, gay and stuff like that. Because, Prince, he had on, a nice, pink suit or whatever. It doesn't bother me when men wear pink. You know what I'm saying? Shit, Cameron did it. But no, it really doesn't bother me when men wear pink. But yeah, they talked about how, people thinking that Prince might have been, a little piggly wiggly and everything. And Prince says it really doesn't bother him at this point, it's whatever. And a lot of us, reviewers, we kind of did feel like Prince might be, and joke around and tease and feel like Prince might be a little, but I mean, if he is or he isn't, I mean, do you? You know what I'm saying? It don't bother me none. It is what it is, But anyways, oh, I was about to close this out, but I forgot. Trick Daddy and Trina, they performed with some dude on the stage, their song called Paradise. I'm like, everybody just making a song called Paradise, huh? But I mean, it was a cool bop, something, to kind of cruise to in the summertime with your, drop top or sunroof or whatever. It was a cool bop. And then they got into the whole Amara and Hollywood situation at the end, which I didn't understand why. They could have just saved that until next week, but so I'm not even going to get into all of that because it's no point. I'm gonna just wait until next week. But all I know was it was something about Amara had like a blanket or something like that, a quilt or something, and was laying in his bed and all this other stuff. But like I said, they brought that shit towards the end, which I didn't understand. It was pointless. But yeah, that pretty much was the episode, y'all. Part one of the reunion. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you guys come back, and I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, y'all. Bye.